So hello friends, welcome to my new video. So today in this video I'm going to discuss with you all about a very important topic that we all should know as an optometrist, that is topography. Okay, so in this video I'm not going to discuss what is topography or what are the indication of topography, what are the history of topography, principle, all these things. So you can get all these things from a normal theory book. Okay, so I'm not going to discuss in that matter. Now today's main aim is to know that how to interpret a topography report. Like this is a topography report. So by looking at this report or looking at the values of this report, whether you are able to say that this cornea is normal or abnormal, that is our main aim. Okay, so let's start. So this topography report is having some parts like this is a section where some values are given, and here 4 refractive map are also given. So we are going to decode all these things. Okay, so now let's start with this table. So first of all, you can get this value or this thing QS. You first of all, your first duty is to look at the QS. Is it okay or not? So if this QS, it stands for quality specification. So this QS tells that how accurately or nicely you have taken the measurement. So if this QS is saying okay in a white background, it means that you have taken a very accurate measurement. If this QS is represented with yellow background or red background, it indicates that you did something wrong in positioning of the patient or something like that should not be done, and the machine or the report tells that to recapture again. Okay. Now another thing is that Q value. So this Q value actually tells the sphericity of the cornea. So this Q value it should be in between 0 to -1. Okay. After this QS and Q value, we need to look at the Kmax value over here, and this Kmax value should be less than 47.20. Nowadays, due to advancement of technology, there is possible or to make a thin flap, so that 48 diopter or 49 diopter can also be corrected, but we should know the normal range, that is 47.20. And after that we need to look at the thinnest local. Here it is 528 micron. So always remember that in topography the thinnest local should be more than 470 micrometer. Okay, if it is less than 470, then it indicates something abnormal is going on or some ectatic condition may lead in the next. Okay, and after that we need to look at the y axis value. So this y meridian value actually tells us the displacement of the thinnest local or thinnest point in the vertical meridian. Okay, so this is also a very important thing, and this y value should be less than 0.5. Okay. Now let us move to the 4 refractive map that I was telling. So these are the 4 refractive map. So we are going to discuss first at the sagittal map. Okay, sagittal curvature front. So this is the sagittal curvature front, where you can see that it is represented with different types of colors, like dark yellow or no, light yellow, like this. So in sagittal curvature map, the more warmer the color, it indicate more steeper the area is, and more cool color like green, blue, deep blue, this indicate that there is flattening area, and more hot color like orange, red or yellow. So this indicate there is steepness or steep area in topography map. Okay, and here also you need to look at the this data, okay, that I will discuss. Now this sagittal map is also having different types of shape, like a round, oval, symmetric, asymmetric shape, and special shapes also there. Okay, so these are the shape that I was discussing. Here you can see this is the round shape, this is oval, this is superior steepening, this is inferior steepening, this is irregular shape. So basically this irregular shape is due to formation of corneal scar, or if the person is having pterygium. So this type of irregular shape can be seen. Now another thing is that like symmetric bow tie, this is symmetric bow tie pattern, and this is symmetric bow tie with skewed radial axis. This is asymmetric bow tie with inferior steepening, and this is asymmetric bow tie with superior steepening, and this is asymmetric bow tie with skewed radial axis and inferior steepening. Okay. So, here as I was telling you all those things, I have mentioned some symmetric pattern, asymmetric pattern, skewed pattern and special also patterns are there like this irregular, and some special like butterfly pattern also there. So, symmetrical pattern I was telling there is round, oval and symmetric bow tie. Okay. So, this symmetric bow tie actually tells that if it is in the vertical meridian, so it tells that the vertical meridian is more steeper than the horizontal meridian, that is which is happening in normal cornea. So, it indicates withdrawal astigmatism. So, if this symmetrical bow tie is in horizontal meridian, it tells that it is against the rule astigmatism, where the horizontal meridian is more steeper than the vertical meridian, and if it is in this oblique axis, so it indicates some oblique astigmatism. Okay. So, this is the asymmetrical where there is superior steepening, inferior steepening. This is asymmetrical bow tie with inferior steepening, asymmetrical bow tie with superior steepening. This is the skew. So, you can call this, I mean to say that this shape can be normal or cannot be normal. So, when you can call this shape as normal or when it become abnormal? By looking at the Kmax value. So, suppose if the Kmax value is more than 50 and it is showing normal round shape in the central area. So, it indicates that there is chances of keratoconus eye it can be, or if the symmetric bow tie is there, but the Kmax value is more than 55. So, it is also absolutely it is also abnormal ectatic condition. Okay. So, you need to look at the thinnest local position as well as the Kmax value to say that the cornea is having normal or abnormal. Okay. Another thing is that asymmetrical values and symmetrical values. Okay. In asymmetrical value like superior steepening, here let us move to this. So, here if suppose here this is asymmetrical. Okay. So, in asymmetrical value you need to calculate the difference between these two corresponding opposite point in the 5 millimeter area or 6 millimeter area. So, if this corresponding two point like 46.4 and 45.3, if their difference is what to say less than 2.5, it indicates that the cornea is normal range. Okay. But if their difference that I showed the two opposite corresponding point, if their corresponding point difference is more than 2.5, it tells that there is some ectatic condition or a more steepening condition is there. Okay. This is the skewed pattern, where you can see this is the symmetrical bow tie with skewed radial axis, that is anti-clockwise, and this is also anti-clockwise asymmetrical bow tie with skewed radial axis. So, as you can see that this is one meridian and this is another meridian. Okay. So, there is a specific angle between these two meridian like here and here. So, always remember that in skewed pattern the angle should not be more than 22 degree. If it is more than 22 degree, it indicates some abnormality is going on. Okay. In the asymmetrical bow tie also, if there is presence of skewed axis, you need to look at the angle also in the report. Now, let us move to the elevation front and elevation back. So, in the elevation front and elevation back, how to know that this elevation front and back is normal or abnormal? So, by looking at the thinnest local and its corresponding point. So, here the thinnest local and corresponding point is 1. Okay. So, it indicates that this is normal. So, always remember that the thinnest corresponding point of the thinnest local should be less than 8. Then only you can call this figure is normal. And another thing that you need to look at is the central 5 mm area. If the central 5 mm area any point is more than 18, okay, more than 18 like 19, 20 or 25, 26, then it indicates some abnormality is going on. So, if you are looking at the central area, the corresponding point or the nearest point from this thinnest local, then it should be less than 8. And if you are looking at the central 5 mm area, then the point should be less than 18, then only you, less than 18 or less than 15. Okay. But it should not be more than 20. Okay. then only you can call that the cornea is normal. In the back also, the corresponding point of the thinnest local should be less than 7, okay. And the central 5 mm area, the corresponding point should not be more than 20, okay. This is the corneal thickness peckimetry map, where you can see different thickness here, and as you all know that the cornea is little bit thinner in the central and it gradually increase thickness in the periphery. So, this map is also showing that. So, to see whether this kind of cornea is normal or abnormal, you need to look at the difference between these two corresponding point, like here 585 and 553. If their difference is more than 30, then it indicates some abnormality is going on. It means that their difference should be less than 30, then only you can call the cornea is normal, okay. In the coming example, we are going to observe some abnormal condition where this variation or this difference is very much high, then only you can understand, okay. This is also another map where you can see a red curve over here, okay. So, always remember that this red curve should be parallel to this line up to 6 millimeter area. So, it should not deviate before 6 millimeter. So, if this red curve is continues to 6 millimeter area, it means that the cornea is normal. If this red curve get deviated before 6 millimeter like this, it indicate there is ectatic condition in the cornea is there, okay. And you also need to see the average value here, and the average value should be less than 1.2, then only you can call this thing as normal, okay. Now, let us move to another case. Here we will see those points that we discussed in the first case. Now, we are not going to discuss, we are just only looking is it normal or abnormal, okay. So, first of all, this is the QS value, okay, it is normal. Q value, it is also in between 0 to 1, normal. And now, let us move to Kmax. Here Kmax value is also normal, 47.3, thinnest local is also normal. Now, let us move to the sagittal curvature, where you can see that this is the asymmetrical bow tie pattern is there, and if you calculate the difference between 47.1 and 46.4, it is less than 2.5. So, it is normal cornea. If you see the elevation front, this is the thinnest local, and you can see the corresponding point is less than 8, and the central 5 mm area also it is less than 18. So, it is normal. In the back also, thinnest local corresponding point is less than 7, and the central 5 mm area it is less than 20, okay. So, it is also normal. Now, in the corneal thickness map, you can see that this is the 569 and 531, or this is 554 and 534. So, there is little bit thinning is there, like you can call is that border line, but here you can see the difference is less than 30. So, in the thickness map we can call is a border line, but we cannot call this cornea as abnormal cornea, okay. Now, this is the another curvature map where you need to see this red curve, and you can see that this red curve is continues up to 6 millimeter zone. So, it indicates that this is a normal cornea, and here also there is slightly deviation of the red curve is there, but this is a normal cornea. So, if you can see that this is average value is 1.8, whereas it should be less than 1.2. So, it is a borderline, but it is not a keratoconus or any type of ectatic condition is there in this cornea, okay. So, now let us move to another case. So, here if you take a look in the QS part, it is okay, Q value is also normal, Kmax value 47.8 normal, thinnest local is also normal, and y axis is also normal. If you look at the sagittal curvature, this is symmetrical bow tie pattern, and the difference of the corresponding opposite point is also less than 2.5, it is normal. Thinnest local point and corresponding point is less than 8, normal, and in the central 5 area also it is less than 18. So, it is normal. Here also thinnest local and corresponding point is 8, 7. So, it is borderline, but it is also normal. and in the central 5 area it is less than 20, or so it is normal. In the Peckimetry map, here you can see that this is 545 and 538, so the difference is less than 30, so it is normal. Now, if you see this Bellin-Ambrosio and hence ectasia map, so here you can see this red curve is continuous up to 6 millimeter area, and here also this red curve is continuous up to 6 millimeter area, then it deviate. So, as it continues up to 6 millimeter, this is a normal cornea, and the average is 1.07, but it is less than 1.2. So, this is why it is a normal cornea, no ectatic condition is here. Okay. So, let us move to another case. Here QS value, okay, Q value is also normal. Now, let us move to the KMX value 47.1 and thinnest local is 497. So, it is more than 500 micron, but it is less than 500 micron, but it is more than 470. So, it is normal. And now, if we look at the look at this, there is a little bit oblique astigmatism is there, but if you calculate the difference between this corresponding opposite point, it is less than 2.5. So, it is a normal cornea, and this is the thinnest local and corresponding point is 8, 7. So, it is a borderline, and also in the central 5 mm area it is less than 18. So, it is normal. In the elevation back, here here you can see the thinnest local is the corresponding point is 20, whereas it should be less than 7. So, it is abnormal thing is there, and in the central 5 mm area also it should be less than 20, but here it is 15. So, it is normal, but just the abnormal thing is that there is 20. Okay. So, as in the thinnest local also 497 is there. So, there is something is going on, but without seeing that Bellin-Ambrosio and hence ectasia, we cannot call it is a normal or abnormal. Okay. And after that, if we see the corneal thickness also, if you calculate the difference between this 554 and 540 or 571 and 524. So, here little more steepening is there, like 567 and 517. So, it is more than 30. But even after that, we need to look at the red curve whether it is deviating before 6 or not, then only we can come to a decision to diagnose as an ectatic condition or not. Okay. So, let us move to Bellin-Ambrosio and hence ectasia map. So, here you can see that the red curve is continuous up to 6 millimeter in the first graph, but in the second you can see that it is getting deviated from the starting 0, and before 2 it is getting deviated. So, this is a case of Keratoconus, where you can see that the average value is also more than 1.2, where it should be less than 1.2. So, it is a case of Keratoconus. Okay. Now, let us move to another case. So, in this case you can see the QS value is represented as yellow. So, that means some data are missing. The Q value is here in normal range. Now, KMX value is more than 47.20, it is 55.9, and the thinnest local is also very low, in where it should be 470, it is 409 only, and the Y value is also more than 0.5. So, it indicates some ectatic condition is going on in the cornea. Now, if we see the sagittal curvature map, so here you can see if you calculate the difference between these two corresponding opposite point, it is more than 2.5. This also tells some ectatic condition or more variation of the curvature is there. Okay. And there is in this area there is more hot color is there in comparison to this area. So, it indicates this area is getting more steeper. So, it also signifies some abnormal condition is going on. So, if you look at the elevation map, so here isolated island like structure is there, and if we see the thinnest local corresponding point, it is 32, whereas it should be less than 8, and in the central 5 mm area it should be less than 20, where it is 27, 28. So, it indicates some ectatic condition. And another thing that I want to tell you, that the minus and plus thing. So, in elevation map there is a best fit sphere is there, that is an imaginary ideal sphere that is pre set up in the machine. Okay. Now, the machine is comparing that best fit sphere with the patient corneal shape, and if the cornea is more steeper than the best fit sphere, then it is expressed as plus, and if it is less steeper, then it is expressed as minus. Okay. So, flatter minus, steeper plus. Okay. And in the color also, hot color steeper, cool color flatter. Okay. So in the back also you can see the corresponding point in the of the thinnest local is 85, where it should be less than 18, and the central 5 mm area where it should be less than 20, it is 40. So it is also abnormal thing is going on. And in the corneal thickness area also, if you see the difference between the corresponding point, this is 558 and here 482, so difference is more than 30, so it also indicates some ectatic condition is going on. So from this data that are displayed in this report, we can call this can be a case of keratoconus, and for surety purpose we need to go for Berlin-Ambrosio enhanced ectasia map, where you can see that the red curve is getting out of track or deviated before 6 millimeter area, and here also it is getting deviated from the starting point also. And if you see the average value where it should be less than 1.2, it is 3.86. So this is also a case of keratoconus eye. Now if we move to the fifth case, so here QS value is okay, quality specification okay, nicely taken, and after that Q value is also normal. KMX value is 48.6, where it should be 47.20, and thinnest local is 462, it is also less than 470, so it is also indicating something abnormality is going on in this cornea. And if we see the sagittal curvature map, so here this is also I think a case of keratoconus, where the color pattern actually telling us that it is a case, it can be a case of keratoconus, that is why I am telling. Now let us move to the value, here 42 and here 47, if the difference and the difference is more than 2.5. And also in the elevation front, here you can see that the corresponding point of the thinnest local is 10, where it should be less than 8. In the central 5 mm area where it should be less than 18, here it is 21 or 20. So it also indicates some abnormal thing is going on in this cornea. And here also the corresponding point of the thinnest local is 30, where it should be less than 7, and in the central 5 mm area where it should be less than 20, it is 36 or 30. And in the Peckimetry map, where you can see, if you calculate the difference between 536 and 497, it is more than 30. So it also indicates some ectatic condition is going on, and thickness variation is also very much in this cornea. Now if we move to the Berlin-Ambrosio enhanced ectasia map, where you can see that in the first graph here it is saying that the red curve is getting out of track, that means deviated before 6 millimeter area. It is not actually getting deviated in the first map. So in the second, it is severely deviating from the starting point. The red curve is deviating before 6 millimeter area, and also the average is more than 1.2, where it should not be more than 1.2. So this is also a case of keratoconus. Okay. So this is another case where you can see the QS value is okay, Q value is also normal, and then K max value 48.6, where it should be 47.20. Thickness is 464, and in the cornea also, if you calculate the difference, this is more than 2.5, and in the elevation map also you can see that the thinnest local is 10, where it should be less than 8, and in the central 5 mm area it is 23, where it should be less than 18. In the back also you can see this is 23, where it should be less than 7, and in the central 5 it is 44, where it should be less than 20. In the corneal thickness area, this is 525 and this is 486, and the difference is more than 30. So this is also a case of corneal ectasia, and this is a case of keratoconus, where you can see in this Berlin-Ambrosio enhanced ectasia map. So here the deviation of the red curve before 2 millimeters, so it indicates that the central thinning is there and peripheral more thickening is there. And if we see the average value, it is 1.57, where it should be less than 1.2. So it is also a case of keratoconus. So that's all, friends. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel, and I hope that you get something to learn from this video, and now you are also able to interpret the topography report easily. So do practice topography or Pentacam, and it will enhance your expertness in clinical. Okay, so thank you so much.